Hello everyone, this is HGSKSK here, back to some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm 1v1 action. Why do I still say Heart of the Swarm? I mean, honestly, at this point, I think we all know, like, years later that it's Heart of the Swarm. I don't know, it's fun to say. It's fun to say, and plus, you know, once Legacy of the Void comes out, we never get to say it again. Although we will get to say Heroes of the Storm, which is basically the same thing as Heart of the Swarm. But either way, spawning up at the top left side, showing us one of the most amazing PvZs of all time. If you guys missed her game against Bomber, definitely go and watch that game. I recently uploaded it on my channel. Go watch it. Stop this video, go watch that game, then come back, because that'll make this game even that much more cool. It is going to be Acer Scarlett. And up in the top right side, a very powerful Korean having lots of success in StarCraft 2. It is going to be the Blue Protoss parting, and I gotta say, we'll see if parting can part her way away from victory. All right, look, the pun, it felt like it was there, but unfortunately, this time the pun was so bad that it didn't even make sense. Usually my puns can kind of make sense, but anyways, the last game was amazing, and also the last game on this map was amazing. Absolutely love this map. I want to show it off just a little bit, so a huge shout out to Red Bull for not only putting on the Red Bull Battlegrounds with tons of money for these players, but also using some awesome maps. So of course you have your natural right here. Every map has got some sort of natural. And then you have your ramp leading down. This is a relatively small choke point for your natural there. And also, there's going to be a relatively small, I don't want to call it a choke point here. It's more of like an intersection. Very easy to defend for both races. And the intersection, you can either come up here and take the high yield expansion, which does have 6 mineral patches and 2 gas geysers, which is very easy to grab. Not easy to secure, though. Look at how, well, actually, you can see both these expansions at the same time. But look at how you can actually harass this, whether it's going to be, even Hydras could like harass this. Colossus obviously going to be effective as well. So easy to get, very difficult to secure. We do have the probe here. Going to be harassing the expanding drone right here. Now remember, if Scarlett is unable to get her hatchery up, oh, there she goes. She actually manages to get it right away, but, or kind of right away. If she wasn't able to do that, she still has money to spend on a queen and extra sets of Zerglings, so it's not that big of a delay. The probe would have died just moments later regardless. Still want to try and be a pest as much as you possibly can. I also want to note, though, that Parting did go ahead and get his Nexus almost right away. Getting that Nexus first, following up with the Forge, then a Gateway. Also note that the Gateway is before the first cannon. We'll see if Parting decides to throw down a cannon or not. Looks like it will be right there, and I think that's going to be good because Scarlett will be moving out with a drone and a couple of links. Scarlett actually going for a very early kind of hidden expansion because this drone's showing up to the party a little bit early, so maybe got to try and hide the drone just a little. Oh, she already... Apparently she magically had enough money to do that, but either way, it's going to go ahead and go for the high yield expansion already. And, you know, really getting 3 bases is this early as Zerg is not the craziest thing. It's kind of surprising given that it's a 2-player map, but either way, not the craziest, most unheard of thing. What's interesting is that this will be a high-yield expansion in a location that's very difficult to defend. So we'll see if she can actually hang on to that one or not. It is going to be up to Parting, though, to have to turn up the heat, because normally Zerg players on 3 bases are difficult enough to deal with off of 2 base as Protoss, but when it's kind of like 3.5 bases, or maybe 3.25, because it is a high yield expansion, then that can just make it very frustrating for Parting. So Scarlett's basically saying, you know what? If you want to play ball, you got to come attack me. Otherwise, I'm going to be in a whole different league. Man, that was like some smack talk for a completely different sport, but it still, I think, applies right now. So basically expect Scarlett to be macroing up here. She's got to want to have drones over at this high-yield expansion if possible, just because every trip, of course, brings in more minerals. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be a high-yield expansion now, would it? Zergling right here, trying to keep track of what's going on. The probe is going to be moving out right now. Now, if this probe actually scouts at high yield expansion, that's going to be a big, big tell for Parting here, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. That probe just beast moding his way all the way up there. There's so many drones here. Scott has got to stop making drones. I feel like she definitely needs to get some sort of units on the field right now, as that is so many drones there. Although right now, I guess this might actually be okay. We don't really have anything from Parting yet. He's going for a very greedy macro build. I mean, look at this. He's already working on +1 attack. He already has a sentry out right now and still has no sort of major tech on the way. Just the 1 gateway. I mean, where's the tech at? There should be a 2nd gateway on the way. There it is. But what is the follow-up? Because this amount of workers, this amount of income, and this amount of tech, I mean, you can do more than just 3 gateways right now. Scarlett needs to make sure to start making some units right now. If she doesn't, she is going to be in a lot of trouble. The link right there will actually spot this coming her way. Does have a road torn on the way. Cancels the pylon. Oh, Parting, you sexy man. I want to say this is actually amazing what he's doing here, because sure, he does have 3 gateways on the way. Scarlett scouts this, though, and is like, hey, as Invicta would say, we've been bamboozled. I love that he says that word because he's like super Texan. But he's okay. He's not that Texan. I say that he is. Regardless, though, we do have the Spine Crawler going to be chilling out here at the high yield expansion. Lots of drones on the way. Scarlett really didn't fall for that. Sure, she made a Roach Warren. But what else did she make? Like one set of Zerglings? She did not actually fall for that. And I really think Parting expected her to. That was a great play by both players. Honestly, that was actually kind of mesmerizing to watch there. And that's when you see the highest level of play starting to come in. Like if you're in Bronze League and you try and do something like that, like I don't even know if the Bronze Leaguer would react to it at all. They would just continue the course. This is actually a really cool wall in as well. Got to be forcing any sort of attack into this nice little choke point. If he throws down a pylon there, well, actually puts it right there. Either way, it's got to be difficult to actually counterattack over there. So awesome decision-making so far by both players on this map. I'm kind of curious to see exactly what Scarlett decides to do. Is she going to go for an 11-minute max? Is she going to go for some sort of drops? Is it going to be Mutalist? Is it Mass Roach? I don't know, guys. I just don't know. And we're just going to have to sit and wait to see. What I do know right now, though, is that Parting has a lot of sentries here, which means that Scarlett, once again, needs to make some units. I mean, right now she's been playing it a little bit too greedy, I feel like, and considering the extremely short rush distance on this map is going to make Scarlett, I think, have to pay for this. And the sentry's actually on the low ground right now. There's going to be the Phoenix trying to spot. Oh, actually going to be force fielding the high yield expansion right now. There is no mining going on. Not a single drone is actually mining and returning to the base. Take a look at the income right now. It's actually going to be plummeting here for Scarlett, dipping way, way lower than I would have expected. A cutesy play for Parting, and that is something that you would only see on this map. I love this map. This map is so awesome. I know I keep saying that. I feel like I'm someone who's just madly in love. But this map is super, super cool. Scarlett, I would have never thought that would probably happen to her. We do have Blink on the way right now. And I gotta say, Parting is getting very scary. He's got the higher income than Protoss normally does at this stage of the game. And Scarlett just has not made that much stuff. I mean, she's trying to get out her Spire right now. She's aspiring to have a Flyer army. But she's kind of stuck in this weird position of having lots of Hydralisks, which I don't really know if those are going to do too much. If she can kill the Mothership Core, that's really, really nice. I don't think she's going to be able to. Oh, actually, she will. That is a dead Mothership Core. All right, Time Warp does come up. That's not going to play a big role. That's just kind of, you know you're getting shot at and you're going to die anyways. Might as well just use everything that you possibly can. I was going to say blow your load, but I feel like that possibly is not the best way to describe that situation without everyone giggling. But either way, I want to know, is Scarlett going to be able to muster up enough stuff? Because Parting, he all aboard the pain train right now. A Protoss on this much macro is a scary Protoss indeed. Like I was saying, Roaches and Hydras on the low ground can actually even lock this down a little bit. Kills off one pylon. Could, I think, get that pylon if she wanted to, but not going to be worth it with the amount of Stalkers on the field. +1 attack is done. +2 should be nearly done. And indeed it is. So no surprise there to see those upgrades. Because usually as Protoss versus Zerg, you do want to go for the early attack upgrades. And the reason being, guess what this upgrade is? Blink, which is almost done. I timed that whole phrase like 2 seconds later. But anyways, Blink will be done. And there it is right there, which means that it's all about doing damage. Because your Stalkers ideally and theoretically should not be dying because Blink can almost always save them. So you want to have the extra damage output as soon as you possibly can. Now, Scarlett right now might actually just have to sit back and wait a little bit until the attack actually hits her. 11 Mutalist is on the way, but there is so much anti-air in this army. I don't know if I've ever seen a Protoss make so few Zealots. There's 2 Zealots on the field. I feel like maybe 3 Zealots have been made this entire game, or it might just be the 2. And Scarlett needs to try and force the force fields, which is exactly what I think she's trying to do. She does have the Mutalist on the way. Is she going to be able to harass this expansion? That would be huge if she can buy time right now. I do think, though, that she may need lots of spines for defense here. Does have she's also expanding down the bottom right side. This army completely caught out of position here as the Protoss army for Parting trying to intercept. Instead, intercepts the Mutalist here. It does look like the Mutalist are going to be going for the high yield expansion, taking out tons and tons of drones. I guess they're technically probes, but hey, it's all the same thing. As a lot of the army right here is just trying to buy time for those Mutalists, and mission accomplished. Scarlett really going to be going for it here. Needs to evacuate the dance floor over there. Lots of probes getting taken out. Overall, Scarlett has killed 19 workers, but keep in mind, this army for Parting is absolutely terrifying. There's nothing back at home for defense. More Lings and Mutas on the way, but Lings and Mutas not that great in a straight-on battle. She needs to keep this army alive for the defense. The Mutalist, though, doing as much damage as he possibly can. Maybe go for the pylons. I don't know about the Nexus choice here. We'll see exactly how this works out. At the same time, though, it does look like Parting pushing forward with his Stalkers. He does have +2 attack now done. That's only against the 1 attack of Scarlett's army. The Mutalists do have +1 attack on the way, but it's not nearly ready in time. Scarlett decided to actually push against these Stalkers. We'll see if it actually ends up working out or not. Scarlett overall, though, has lost more in the midst of all this chaos. And I gotta say, Parting doing a great job of holding on and also putting out the aggression. So many sentries here. I don't know if anything can actually take these on. So many Mutalists are getting intercepted right now by this army. The Zealot is going to town all by his lonesome. but he doesn't need Zealot buddies when you got a friend in Sentries and Stalkers. Scarlett, what looked like a stellar defense, is now quickly getting out of control, trying to focus down Sentries. Does manage to take out the bunch, of course. There's going to be no retreat for this army, but doesn't actually need to retreat because it's just doing so much damage. Here comes the reinforcements right now. Force fields delaying the reinforcements for Scarlett from actually getting up that ramp. All of a sudden, Scarlett able to get inside the main base with a couple of Needless here, killing off more and more probes, but it's just not enough. She's losing too much here. The supplies for both players are about the same, but Scarlett is quickly plummeting as she is now the one going to be losing all of the workers here. 21 workers killed to 29, but that number is rising for both players. Now, at this point, Scarlett realizes, uh-oh, it's time to get a new base. Down the bottom left, down the bottom right. She realizing that this is kind of a base race situation without really much of a race on her part. It's more trying to kill off as many probes as she possibly can. She's up to 38, but that number continues to rise here. Could kill off a couple pylons to delay the reinforcements. That might be the only option at this point for these builds. There's just not a whole lot going on down here. I don't know if attacking this is a great idea. The Lings, though, absorbing a surprising amount of damage as more Lings are going to be reinforcing right here. Can Scarlett actually kill off all these Stalkers? Blink proving to be quite a nuisance here as she's trying to just punish the Protoss for never, ever retreating. Lings are going to be spawning right now. Should be able to do a little bit of damage, possibly to those sentries. We'll just have to wait and see. At the same time, though, there is going to be the attacker here. The probes completely transferred away. Scarlett needs to give chase right there, though, as she can continue to reinforce if she wants to. Decides just to run the last few Lings out of the main base here. More reinforcing from the bottom left side. That Spire is nearly done. She does have a lot of money, but not so much on the Vespene gas side. Sure, she can make a couple more meatless, but really what she needs is a lot more Lings, I feel like. Although, with this many Stalkers, it's kind of hard because the blink timers are very, very short when you have that many. These Lings are definitely dead. If she had Burrow, well, there are observers out now as well, so that wouldn't be that effective. I'm trying to think of exactly what Scarlett can do here. A very exciting game. It's only 63 supply to 82, but at the same time, I mean, take a look at the income tab. Scarlett is actually winning in income, which is silly to say because Parting actually does have a substantial mining base right now. He is going to begin catching up right here, though. Scarlett transferring drones down to the bottom right side, though. It's kind of hard to tell exactly who's going to win this game. I will say that I think Parting currently has a substantial lead, but he is down on workers, so if Scarlett can continue to mining with that slight advantage, she can continue to make the units that she absolutely needs, but at the same time, I don't know if she can get out enough stuff to deal with that many Blink Stalkers. Really, the main threat is the amount of Blink Stalkers here. Is going to be able to call off a couple more probes right now, and she knows that losing a Muta or two here is worth killing off 4 probes, and that's exactly what happened, was killing off those 4, losing 1 Muta for it, and just delaying as much as possibly can. This high-yield expansion is nearly mined out, so while it is a loss for Scarlett, and all these drones are very, very important, she's not really losing a lot of resources at the end of the day. I mean, this mineral patch has 2 minerals. That drone right there not going to deliver those 2 minerals, that's for sure. The drones are going to go ahead and retreat on back for now, just trying to buy as much time as she possibly can. Scarlett trying to cut in to the amount of money she has. The problem, though, is that she doesn't have any queens. She does need to start making these queens ASAP to start trying to get those inject larvas. If she ever hopes of winning, she's got to have to get inject larvas rolling, trying to use the drones in that engagement with the sentries, just refusing to die. They have a little bit of energy left. Scarlett is running out of options. She has been able to delay the mining in a big way, but still there is that one mining base for Parting. And I gotta say, it really comes down to not having Lings. Imagine if she had all the Zerglings that this money could buy. That would be a lot more terrifying for Parting to deal with. But right now, Scarlett is focused on micro and a little bit of macro, but not a whole lot. Broodlings over here might be able to kill off 1 Stalker, and they do. That is huge. I mean, honestly, every unit right now is so important for both these players. There's also going to be these larvae left here, which Scarlett could use, but remember, you have to individually select those. So a lot of times you'll see pros not even be able to use those larvae in time because they're so focused everywhere else as she's trying to do everything she can. Her APM is probably off the charts, just microing these small amounts of units alone because she knows just how important they actually are. There's sentries right there. Need to kill off the sentries if possible, but also need to keep the mutos alive. And down go both sentries. That's a lot of money at this stage of the game, considering the low amount of income. Scarlett is going to have to get out of there, though. And again, she just does not have this money being spent, and she needs to. Does she have this hotkey? I don't think she has any hotkeys right now, unless I'm like totally tripping. I guess maybe the hotkeys just aren't showing up on this map, as it is a custom, I believe they use a custom UI when they were playing on this map, but either way, needs to try and defend these locations. This might actually be it. This might be the nail in the coffin, is the 2-pronged attack from Parting. There's just not enough anywhere to defend either of these bases. Actually, Parting doesn't know about the base on the bottom right side. I don't think it's going to be enough for Scarlett to actually pull back into this game. But right now, Party thinks that this is the only base for Scarlett, which currently it is not. But I just gotta say, Scarlett never cutting into these resources. I mean, you can't really blame her because there's so much going on. Plus, she didn't really would have had the time to have too many inject larvas anyway. But either way, she needed to spend that money, and she would have had a chance of winning this, but she was never able to because Parting with the non-stop aggression, just making it work with what little stuff he has left. I mean, this is a Protoss player stuck on one mining base for an exceptionally long time and still managing to make it work. A couple of Zealots still joining in this game, but very few overall. And I gotta say, Mass Blink Stalker with +2 attack is so good. Unless Zerg can kind of get those snowball units. Down goes the Spire. That means no more Mutalisks anytime soon. I mean, this base over here is still mining, but again, she's having trouble cutting into this, and now it's too late. Even if she does cut in to those 9,000, now 1,000 resources, it's just not enough. 1,000 resources worth of Lings is not enough to take this on, especially with the upgrade. I think it's at a disadvantage. Yes, it is. Only +1 attack. The Mutalisk going back inside the main base, trying to buy time, trying to do everything she can, but she just never had the extra 1 or 2 minutes that she needed. She is still trying to do as much as possible. We can't kill off more and more probes here. I mean, this has been just so many probe deaths. Workers killed, oh my god, 92 workers versus 83 killed in a 22-minute game. Almost 200 workers killed. That's actually ridiculous. Did Scarlett buy enough time? God, that's just so many Stalkers. And there's got to be the GG from Scarlett. She knows that she did not stand a chance in killing that off. Overall, an amazing game. Scarlett almost able to take out another terrifying Korean. But I just got to say, Parting, I feel like made all the right choices, knowing that he did not need to retreat with his army. He knew that he could warp in enough for the defense. And even though he ended up losing a lot of his workers, he knew that he had enough in the Stalkers. And the thing about Mass Blink Stalker is that it can be really good or really bad. And the times that it's really, really good is if you're keeping them alive for the whole game, you're keeping the upgrade advantage, and you're preventing the Zerg from ever snowballing. If you ever get tons of fungals or way too many Mutalisks or just way too many Zerglings, then that can spell disaster. But the fact of the matter is he kept those sentries alive for a very long time, used those sentries to protect those Stalkers, and was able to claim victory here. So even though Scarlett ended up losing, such an awesome game, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. I sure did, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.